the concept of a solution to a differential equation. Welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to explore a very important concept, the concept of a solution to a differential equation. Now, before we dive into the new material, let's take a moment to reflect on what you already know. In your previous algebra classes, whenever you were faced with an equation, your primary goal was to find a specific number or perhaps a small set of numbers that made the equation true. But as we transition into the study of differential equations, I want you to prepare yourselves for a shift in perspective. The very nature of what we call a solution is going to change fundamentally. We are moving away from searching for single numerical values and moving toward something much more dynamic, which we will define in detail in the next few slides. Understanding the shift, algebraic versus differential equations. Now, to really grasp this fundamental shift in thinking that I mentioned in the previous slide, let's start by looking backward. To understand what a solution to a differential equation is, it is very helpful to first recall what we mean when we talk about a solution to a standard algebraic equation. Let's look at the section on algebraic equations. Consider a simple algebraic equation, such as x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. In this context, what are we looking for? We are looking for a specific numerical value. If we take the number 2 or the number 3 and substitute them for x, you will see that the left-hand side becomes equal to the right-hand side. Therefore, the solutions are simply the numbers 2 and 3. It is a finite, static set of values. However, as we move into differential equations, the rules of the game change. A differential equation involves an independent variable, which we usually call x, a dependent variable, which we usually call y, and most importantly, the derivatives of that dependent variable, such as di dx or the second derivative, d squared y over dx squared, and so on. Because these equations are built around derivatives, which represent rates of change, the solution cannot possibly be just a single, static number. Instead, as you will see in the following slides, the solution to a differential equation is a function. This is the key concept we need to hold onto as we move forward. Formal definition of a solution. A function, which we can call phi of x, is officially considered a solution to a differential equation if, and this is the crucial part, when we take that function and plug it back into the equation holds true. Specifically, you replace the dependent variable, y, with your function, phi of x. Then, you replace every derivative, such as di dx or the second derivative, d squared y by dx squared, with the corresponding derivatives of your function, phi of x. If the equation remains balanced after this substitution, you've found a solution. If that sounds a bit technical, don't worry. Let's break it down into 3 simple steps that you can use every time you encounter a problem like this. First, take your proposed function, phi of x, and substitute it everywhere you see the variable y. Second, calculate the derivatives of that function and substitute them into the places where you see the first derivative, di dx, or any higher-order derivatives. And third, simply check the math. If the left-hand side of your equation simplifies to be exactly equal to the right-hand side, then you have successfully verified that phi of x is indeed a solution. Now that we've established that we are no longer looking for a single number, but rather a whole function, let's look at the formal definition of what it actually means to be a solution. To see this process in action, let's move on to our next slide, where we'll look at a real-world example involving population growth to see why this concept is so powerful. Real-world context, population growth. Now that we have established the formal definition of a solution, let's move away from abstract symbols and look at a real-world scenario to help you visualize why a function, rather than just a number, is the solution. Let's consider the concept of population growth. In biology, we often observe that the rate at which a population grows is directly proportional to the current size of that population. If there are more individuals, the population grows faster. We can express this relationship using a differential equation. dp, dt equals kp. To be clear about what we are looking at here, P represents the population, which is our dependent variable. T represents time, our independent variable. And K is simply a constant that represents the growth rate. Now, referring back to our earlier discussion about the difference between algebraic and differential equations, remember that we aren't looking for a single value for P instead. The solution to this equation is a growth function, written as P of t equals ce to the power of kt. This function is the solution because it doesn't just give us a snapshot of one moment. It provides a formula to calculate the population at any given time t. It satisfies the differential equation because, if you were to take the derivative of this function, you would find that its rate of change is always proportional to its current value, exactly as the equation requires. In the next slide, we will see how to apply this same logic of substitution to verify a solution mathematically. Step-by-step example of verification. Now that we have established the formal definition of a solution, let's move from theory to practice. On this slide, we are going to perform a step-by-step verification. We want to test whether the function y equals sine of x is actually a solution to the differential equation y double prime, or the second derivative of y with respect to x plus y equals 0. First, let's look at step 1. Identify the given function. Our proposed solution, the function we are testing, is simply y equals sine of x. Next, in step 2, we need to find the first derivative. To do this, we differentiate y with respect to x when we take the derivative of sine of x. We get cosine of x, so di dx equals cosine of x. Moving to step 3, we need to find the second derivative. This means we take the derivative of our previous result. The first derivative, with respect to x differentiating cosine of x, gives us negative sine of x. Therefore, the second derivative, or dy dx squared, equals negative sine of x. Now, for step 4, we perform the substitution. We take these pieces and plug them back into our original differential equation. The left-hand side of our equation is the second derivative plus y when we substitute negative sine of x for the second derivative and sine of x for y. The left-hand side becomes negative sine of x plus sine of x. Finally, in step 5, we simplify and compare. As you can see, negative sine of x plus sine of x simplifies perfectly to 0. Since the right-hand side of our original equation was also 0, we have shown that the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So, our conclusion is clear. The function y equals sine of x is indeed a valid solution to the differential equation, y double prime plus y equals 0. As we move to the next slide, keep this process in mind, as it is the key to avoiding common mistakes in verification. Common mistakes to avoid. First, be careful not to confuse your variables with constants. It is easy to lose sight of the fact that the independent variable, x, is not just a fixed number. It is a variable. Remember, as we discussed in our second slide, the solution we are looking for is a relationship between x and y. It is a function that describes how y changes as x changes. Second, a very frequent error is forgetting to use the derivative. When you are performing the substitution, do not simply plug the original function, y, into the spots where the derivatives appear. For instance, if the equation asks for the first derivative, di over dx, you must first calculate that derivative and then substitute that new expression into the equation. Always find your derivatives before you start the substitution process. Finally, please be extremely vigilant with your differentiation. As we saw in our step-by-step example with the sine function, the entire verification process relies on the accuracy of your derivatives. A tiny mistake, such as forgetting a negative sign when differentiating cosine of x, will lead you to the wrong conclusion, making it appear as though a perfectly valid function is not a solution. Precision in your calculus is key here. Now, before we wrap up our lesson and look at the final summary, I want to pause and discuss some common pitfalls. As you begin practicing the verification process we saw in the previous example, you might encounter a few stumbling blocks. Once you have mastered these points, you will be well prepared to review our key takeaways in the final slide. Key takeaways. First, let's revisit the fundamental shift in thinking we discussed at the very beginning. Remember, the nature of a solution has changed for you. Unlike the algebraic equations you are used to, where you are searching for a specific number or a set of numbers, the solution to a differential equation is actually a function. It is a relationship, not just a single value. Second, let's recap the verification process we practiced in our step-by-step example. If you are asked to check whether a given function is a solution, your task is to find the necessary derivatives, substitute the function and those derivatives back into the original equation, and then check if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. If they match perfectly, you have successfully verified the solution. Finally, keep in mind the relationship between your variables. The ultimate goal of finding a solution is to express the dependent variable, which we usually call y, explicitly in terms of the independent variable, which we usually call x. All right, we have reached the end of our lesson, so let's wrap everything up by reviewing the key takeaways from today's session. I hope this clarifies the concept of a solution to a differential equation. Keep practicing your differentiation, as that is the key to mastering this topic. Well done today.